with Corona, do we do we get that anymore? Like, is it
Spun that right around.
yeah, so it's kind of like, I was like, damn, like, B would not be in that wedding right now.
I was talking the other day, actually, to a doctor friend of mine, and I said, you know, not even 6-8 months ago, if I was walking down the street and I saw somebody with a surgical mask on, I'd be really thinking about crossing the street or holding my breath when I'm walking by them. Now when I walk down the street, if I see somebody without a surgical mask on, I'm thinking of crossing the street to get away from them or holding my breath when I walk by them.
Conversation he posted that he hated Kaepernick because his father served in this war, all these wars, and then he posted like the medals, and I wasn't really mad at him. Like I felt like compassion, like I don't know, it was weird, like empathy, I should say. I felt like you don't get it, you know what I mean? Not in a I'm smarter than you way, like you don't get it, like, and it must be a good world to not be able to relate to that. Like I wish,
Yes.
like I saw it from two different sides. Like I wish I could relate like that. And like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yep.
But unfortunately, I can't. But I try to talk to him like, hey, you know, it's not about this, right? You know, he's really doing this for injustice. Like it's nothing against your grandfather. You know, this is deeper than that. It's about what that song represents and what it doesn't represent for me. And he was like, there's other times and places, this is American, this is apple pie. I'm like, all right, I get it. And I just left it like that. I was like, you know, I mean, I hope you change your mind, you know, and just left it at that because it was just an interesting perspective, like, I guess, to not be able to see that.
Yeah, I have a close friend of mine that was the same, that we were in the Army together. And when that whole thing happened, he was the first person that I respected that had that opinion. I had heard that opinion, you know, it's against the troops, you know, talking heads or whoever was saying that. And I thought, like you did, what are you talking about? Those are two different things. Those are nothing to do with nothing. And I thought it was a political talking point or jumping off or a way of, I don't even know what their thought process was, but it wasn't until I talked to this friend of mine that I realized that there was, how do I say, I don't want to say that the other viewpoints weren't valid, but this was a real person that I respected that had that same viewpoint. So there had to have been more to it than just a knee-jerk political type reaction, where he kind of felt that same way. But if this is a friend of yours on Facebook, I'd say check back in with him. There's been a lot that's happened in the world since Cap first started kneeling, and
yeah,
he may have had a little bit of a wider perspective in the meantime.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And people could change. I don't want to sit here like, I hate this line of division that I'm kind of seeing from different sides where the cancel culture with that person's done. Like, you made this mistake or you said this, we're done. Cutting this person off. It doesn't solve the problem for me. Like, I don't feel like exiling a person. You're just going to have a place or a containment of people that are exiled that are together, but the problem's not solved. They could still mobilize and do what they have to do if they want to. So why not try to get that person, try to get down to where they talk at and see if you can have a conversation somehow, some way.
Yep. And it works both ways. You might be able, I don't want to say educate them, but you might be able to enlighten them on some points of view that they hadn't thought of. But kind of like your friend on Facebook or my military friend, although I still didn't agree with his point, I at least got a lot better perspective on what he was feeling and why he was feeling that way, instead of just, that's racist. If you don't agree with Cap, you must be a white supremacist, or that's a political statement that has not, so there's more to it. I think both sides can. There's fine people on both sides, but we can learn from each other on that one.
Oh man, yeah. I forgot about that too. Do you think
I knew there was something on the tip of your tongue right there.
Do you think that sports is taking away from the racial uncertainty, I would guess you would want to call it, that's going on? Do you feel like it brings us? It's one of those things that brings us close together.
Because sports on whole, or what's going on with sports right now?
Sports being played
right now.
Right now, things going on
with the COVID going on.
Yes.
I think those are two different things. I think the country, maybe even the world, is stunned. It's like getting punched in the face. Man, you can't think about two different things right now. I can't see sports being played as helping or hurting racial divides or racial equality because COVID. I don't know, maybe that's just me, but there's not a lot of. Have you watched any hockey, any basketball, any baseball?
I've watched some basketball.
Yeah, I haven't watched anything, and I'm a avid sports nut. It's not the same. I've got other things on my mind.
They got digital fans though. You are missing out on the digital fans.
You know what? That's one of the reasons I do want to check in. It's not even for the game. I want to hear what digital fans look like and hype sports.
Look like you.
This is crazy that's happening.
You I forget what app you're on, but you probably turn your camera on and watch the game. So if you get picked as one of the digital fans, it's just you on the sideline, Ben, like, oh, go Celtics. And you just see your face, and it's digital now, man.
That is bizarre.
Yeah, a little bit.
And also, I think a little crazy. I'm just picturing all those dudes watching naked, hoping they get on. Who's the guy in the truck with the quick pixelation button? Yeah, no, I haven't seen any of that. I took your podcast in a sideways direction.
Do it. I don't have a direction right now. That's the best thing about it. I have no direction, no sponsors. There's nobody to like, Dave got canceled. Like, this is the best time. Oh man. But I look at it as sports sometimes can even bring races together. Even racists love sports. Everyone loves sports, man. So I feel like it's kind of a good thing, but not, because it's weird, like you said. There's no fans. It just has a different feel, different look to it, and it's not familiar. It's not even familiar. It's not even something that could give you comfort because it's not aesthetically familiar.
That's right.
What I'm trying to say.
That's why I was asking you, talking sports in general, or sports right now. Things are so different right now. Sports before, or if sports right now were happening and there was no COVID, there'd be people at the bars cheering on their team, and there'd be that moment of camaraderie where the team colors are mattering more than the color of your skin. And we're so I don't know, quarantined, but we're so split up. The bars aren't open. People aren't going to these games. Those chances for those interactions and for that commonality to happen are so diminished that I don't see a huge benefit right now. I mean, people are talking. Bubba Wallace in NASCAR is a big thing, or was not too long ago. And, people are talking and more viewpoints are getting out there, but I don't see the sports really bringing people together as much as the talking about it.
Gotcha.
What do you think about the mass gatherings, Dave? You get a free ticket to a concert. Are you going, or you get a ticket to the bubble in the basketball in Disney? Are you going?
I'm not stepping foot in the bubble, bro. Step foot in the bubble. Uh, but I'm not gonna say I'm disappointed, man. I wanted to go to South by Southwest. I wanted to go
Yeah.
to Jazz Fest in Montreal with my wife. I wanted to do some of those things that's kind of like on my bucket list. And now I feel like I'm 2 years out from that ever happening because I don't know when it goes back. Like even I told somebody, even if the cure was January, we're not going back till probably like a year after that, where people
Right.
feel like they're gonna creep in and it might be half of a arena field. It's still gonna be on your mind. So
Hmm.
I don't know how you, and this is kind of like a version of trauma too, I would think.
I think so. I think so. You're absolutely. There's post-traumatic effects to a lot of the things that are going on, whether or not you feel like, trauma isn't just you get punched in the face or you get shot or, the classic traumatic event.
Yeah,
Just worrying can cause trauma. Seeing something on TV over and over again can cause trauma.
absolutely.
Um, yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And like you said, even if there's a magical cure come January, that doesn't mean the magic wand gets waved and everybody gets that magical cure. You still got to manufacture. How many people do we have on this planet? It's in the billions. I sound ignorant. Are we up to 4 billion?
Yeah, you asking the wrong person. I have no clue. I know
Anyway,
a lot of
I know
different
we have
stuff, man.
350 plus million people in the United States. So just being selfish for the United States, I know we're not rolling out that many doses of anything in the weeks after they come
Mhm.
up with it.
Yeah, unless there's some new medication,
It's gonna be a little bit of lag time.
yeah, I agree. So that's all I have for you, man. What you listening to now? Wait a minute. What's going on in podcast land for you? Because you
What am I
usually
listening to? Oh, well, actually, I saw one of your podcast episodes come up in my feeds. I had already listened to it because I get that sweet advanced copy comes out. So I had already seen it. But I'm listening to a lot of health and wellness type stuff. I'm listening to one of my favorites. Really is a standalone. I listen to This American Life a lot. It's just I've tried to put you onto it. It's so varied that I can't even put my finger on it. But I love the storytelling. I love the journalistic aspect to it. Check out a couple of those episodes, but it's all over the place, so I can't say it's a certain genre. I listen to a lot of doctors. I listen to a lot of biohacking type stuff.
Yeah, you got me on to one of the biohacker ones though.
Yeah, yep. You were telling me.
I'm on to that too. No, I think two of them you got me onto. The first
Uh-huh,
dude, the
uh-huh.
first dude only released like 6 episodes, and the second one was like somebody who funded a lot of these bio startups or something like that.
Yep. I know who you talk about.
But that one's really good.
Yep.
So
He puts out a lot of content too.
yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
What am I listening to? I'm listening to Code Newbie. That's a good one. It's about
Who's this?
Code Newbie.
Oh, yes. You were telling me about that. I can't touch with that. That's what I got you for.
But it was funny because I remember that's what you taught me that through Krav Maga, you're like, all right, I'm just gonna throw a lot of stuff at you. Then later on, I'm gonna reintroduce it to you. And that created like a thought process in me of I want to learn coding, but it's not one of my immediate goals. Like it's a long term, but it's not a
Hmm.
one right now. So I said, I'll just hang around the jargon and listen to the podcast and slowly just keep that information around me.
Just
And then
kind of get it picked in there, just
yeah,
little bits. Will still eventually stay embedded. Then when you really want to dive in, like you said, you'll have a lot of that jargon. You'll kind of know what you're talking about instead of just starting at ground zero.
yes,
Yep.
absolutely. And I
Yep.
also have an app too that I visit once or twice a week. I don't put too much stress on it. I'm just like, all right, once or twice a week, I'm gonna go into this programming app and it gives you little exercises. Like try this exercise. and it's programming on your phone. But it's giving you the basics. Yeah, it's giving you the basics of programming. And it's
What language is it programming in?
C#.
Mm-hmm.
So it's giving you that taste of how a very elementary way of how to program, and it's also rewarding too, because you get more points and you get more credit within the ecosystem of doing problems and contributing to the ecosystem by posting things and helping people out, comma. So
no, that's a smart way. I mean, that's a good app, but I like how you're approaching it. That's a smart way to do it, because jumping into that cold body of water with no practice versus once or twice a week, you're kind of getting yourself that mindset, putting yourself in that frame of mind. That's a nice way to pick at it. So when you get that full exposure, yeah, you know where I'm going on. He's grinning because I just put out a video that's kind of refers to this in a medical sense.
I thought you was going cold shower. I thought you was amped to release that one.
Yeah, I am. I cannot wait for that one to come out. Oh no, I was talking about the hormesis video where you're giving your body and your mind that stress so that later on you're more apt to handle it.
Yes, sir. Yep. Yes, sir. I do remember that. I'm out of here.
All right, bro.
Hey, this is dope, man.
Thank you for having me. Remember to subscribe to my podcast, The Art of Doing.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And the podcast, whatever. Edit something.
YouTube channel. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what I was saying. It's only for you, Dave.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth it.
Yeah, it is. It's already paying dividends. You know, I'm enjoying myself, and any type of time you put yourself out of your own box, challenge yourself to do something different that you're not used to doing. When you can get over that hurdle of actually making that leap and doing it, it's incredibly self-rewarding. Whether or not anybody ever watches it or listens to it, that's a whole other thing. Although I know you will. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Go buy my shit. Got a new mixtape out. Yeah,
my new mixtape drops Wednesday. Dave, great to see you, man. It's always great to lay eyes on you.
Salute,
hang in there.
You know what I mean?
Take care, bro. Bye now.